I will try to hold my body as horizontal as I possibly can in order to be at the same level as the ball. I will start when I come to a halt here. There we go. No! You count. This hurts. Ah! I want to hear you out.
Hello from Keith. You saw there Walter doing what I think is probably his most famous demonstration, where he becomes part of a very large pendulum. And you needed to watch that in order to solve problem 258. Because I asked you in the problem to create a pendulum out of a disc and a small mass which unbalanced the disc, and it had to have the same period as Walter achieved in that demonstration in lecture 10 of 801. And many of you must have watched that clip, or if not, hopefully the whole lecture, to determine what the period was that you needed to find. We had several good answers. I could have picked others, but I chose to pick Ferzan Tapramaz and Old TV Nut. They do the solution slightly differently from each other. Ferzan's is my preferred choice. It's the way I solve the problem when I set the problem. And he uses a total energy approach that Walter covers in lecture 13 of 801. You find the total energy of the system, and then you differentiate with respect to time, and you end up with the equation of simple harmonic motion that you can see at the bottom, theta double dash plus mgr over I, the moment of inertia, all times theta equals 0. And that you should recognize as an equation of simple harmonic motion. And there it is. This is the equation as a simple harmonic oscillator, as Ferzan calls it. And then if you know your equations, you can straight away identify the omega and therefore the period that those values give you. And he solves for the mass m. He says that the small mass has a negligible effect on the rotational inertia. When I solved it, did actually include that, and it makes a very tiny change to the answer. But I'm not worried about that here. The principle is fine, and you can see he works through, solves for small mass m from the values I gave, and you can see that also the period of 4.56 seconds, which he got from the lecture demonstration that you saw. So we get a mass of approximately 9.7 grams, and as he says at the end, the ratio of the two masses, m to big M, is very small. If you don't make that approximation, which Old TV Nut didn't do, you get a very slightly different answer, 9.8 grams. But what he does is slightly different. Old TV Nut compares the moments of inertia of the disc and the small mass with that of a simple pendulum of mass m. Nothing wrong with that. It's a bit of a shortcut. It's the sort of thing I might well do in an exam, but as I say, I like to be a bit of a fundamentalist when it comes to physics and work from first principles. So there you go. So that's the second answer. I'll let you have a look at that. Fairly straightforward problem. It's all covered in Walter's lectures. Another lecture that is very good, apart from lecture 13, and lecture 10, of course, to see it, is lecture 30, where he does the periods of various shapes, hoops and bars and things like that. So if you're at all confused about the compound inertia, moment of inertia of the two masses together, do have a look at lecture 30 in particular. Thank you.